This is the No BS Travel Advisor podcast. I'm Marcie Muensterman, and this show is for travel advisors who want to run profitable businesses, charge what they're worth, and stop following outdated bullshit advice just because someone in the industry told them that that is the way it has always been done. Each episode brings real talk, practical strategies, and real stories from fellow travel advisors, because sometimes the best way to learn is hearing how someone else figured their shit out. So let's get to it. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the No BS Travel Advisor podcast. Today, I am sitting down with Deena, who's not only a badass new travel advisor, but also a caretaker, a mom, and someone who has literally rebuilt her career from the ground up. We are going to talk about the real shit today. What it looks like to balance caregiving and being a mom of adult children with running a business, why she walked away from the legal world after nearly 30 years, and how she almost quit travel before finding her footing. I hope you grab your coffee and or wine, depending on what time of day it is, because this one's going to feel like you're sitting right here with us, and I'm so excited to start season 2 with Deena. Hi, Deena.
Oh, thanks.
How are you?
Great.
I'm so excited to meet you in person, and I think we should just start simple so we can get warmed up for season 2. But tell me about your family life right now, what that looks like, and who are the people that you're caring for, and what does a typical day look like for you right now?
Oh gosh, my typical day starts really early. I start work at about 5:30 because my husband gets up. He works shift work and he's up and out of the house by 5. So I get up and start working. Since I've been working at home, I basically look homeless like 90% of the time.
You look beautiful today.
Yeah, I did get ready today.
Same.
Yeah. Yes. My husband and I've been together we've been married for 24 years, and we were together 7 years before that. So
Wow.
long time.
Awesome.
I had 2 kids. My son is 25 and he moved out and bought his own house and moved out in November. And my daughter is going to be 22 right away, and she's a paramedic. So
Wow.
they're all grown and have careers, which is great because I feel like we just survived. We did it. We did it.
Yay.
But I do have my mom that I take care of. My dad passed away 6 years ago, and he kind of he used to take care of me. Yeah, well, it happens. But he was like the person that took care of everything for all of us. So, my mom came from that generation where the man did everything. She didn't take care of finances. Things just happened in her life, and he did them all. And so when he passed away, we knew that we were going to have to just take over because she didn't even know how to really take money out of the bank. She doesn't know how bills are paid. Like, she literally life just happens for her, right? So,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a big change. So when that happened, I actually went back down to 4 days a week at work, and kind of dove in to take care of all her finances and her personally. And that is a big challenge. Our health system is not great, and there's not a lot of resources out there for elderly people. So
Right. So what were you doing 4 days a week while you were managing that new change in your mom's life?
Yeah, I was a paralegal for about 30 years. So very busy. Lawyers need a lot of care also.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. And actually there was a lot of resistance to me cutting back my hours because I've always been somebody that just took care of everything, years like that. And I was good at my job. Yep. And I was actually at that job for 15 years. I thought I would have been there till I retired. And so when I asked for that, there was a lot of pushback about that. And it was like, well, why don't you like working? You take care of everything. Why do you not want to just work and do that? And you can do all this. And it was like, I can't do this all. It's impossible.
Okay, so I got that wrong. 15 years, not 30.
No, I was just at law firm for 15 years.
Oh, you were at that law firm for 15 years. Okay.
I've worked at many law firms, but that one in particular.
So you had a long paralegal career, which is high-paced, super detail-oriented.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was good at it. I loved my job. And I was really good. I'm good working in chaos. I'm good at managing lawyers. I really did enjoy it, but I was just finding it really overwhelming because it was taking care of that, taking care of my mom. And so there's a lot of resistance because when you do everything and then you can't, people don't get it because they're like, what do you mean? You always take care of everything. That's what you do. And it's like, well, I do a good job of it, but I'm still human. Still,
Right. And things
yeah,
change.
yeah,
You have to pivot, right? You have
yeah.
to make adjustments. And you said you also care for your uncle as well.
Well, yeah, and then he came into the picture down the road, and we had to move him. He's a farmer, and so he didn't want to come to the city, but we moved him here. So he has no other family. He was my dad's brother, so he has no other family. So now I also help with him. So I have two elderly people that honestly, it's harder than taking care of children because they don't listen. And you can't
Right.
make,
Well, they think they're independent. They want to do their own thing. They've always done it a certain way, right? And then they're like,
yeah,
"Who are you? You're coming in." And that
yeah,
sandwich, they call that the sandwich generation, where you're raising your
yeah,
parents' generation and you're trying to get your kids like out of the house at the same
yeah,
time or independent. That's a pretty intense role to carry.
yeah.
So, what happened with the law firm?
Well, so I actually ended up leaving. It honestly felt like a divorce because we really were like family, but I just really, there was a really big disconnect about why I couldn't just keep doing what I did and the
Right.
personal side of it. And I think lawyers just tend to, I don't know, like he was a great, like it was a great place to work. I have nothing bad to say about the law firm or the lawyer I worked with. Like he honestly was like an amazing person to work with, but I just felt like there was such a disconnect that I just had to leave because it was not working anymore. And
Yep.
there was like a wedge all of a sudden. It was like, well, you take care of things, just keep doing that. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And I was like,
Mhm.
no. So I went to another law firm and then anyway, without getting into the whole law firm thing, I ended up taking a job managing a law firm. So I did that for about a year and a half. And
Okay.
then, very unexpectedly, the managing partner that hired me got sick, retired literally the next day.
Oh my
And then
god.
the new management, younger, different management, decided they did not need an office manager and we're going a different direction. And I found myself unemployed, which
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, never in my life did I think that I would be unemployed.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot, Deena,
it was,
especially in the last 6 years.
yeah,
Like, that sounds like a lot to take on.
yeah.
Well, we know that something shifted for you, so I would love to hear. I'm glad you're here. You're so deserving, but it is interesting that you transitioned to travel, which is a sales position
Yeah.
from the paralegal and legal world. I'm sure you brought over some incredible skills. So what attracted you to the travel business, and how long have you been a travel advisor with Mind My Travel?
Okay, I've been about just 2 years now.
Okay.
Um, and it actually just happened by accident, which is kind of how I fall into many things. But, I was really in shock when I didn't have a job and I had to really evaluate what I wanted to do because as much as I love the legal world, it's really a thankless job. Like the better you are at
Sure.
your job, the more work you get and the less, appreciation you get because if you're good, it's just that's what you're expected. And there's
I
nobody says,
mean, corporate America hell. Like, it's like,
yeah,
don't be too good
yeah.
at anything because they're just going to keep piling it on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I never really felt like I needed that appreciation. I knew what I signed up for. I knew the type of
Hmm.
personalities I worked with. Like anyone in law, like we all have type A personalities. So there's a lot of
Sure.
personality. But I really did at that point feel like, okay, I literally feel like I've done as much as I can. Like I was at a position where I could make the changes I wanted to. I was doing a really good job of it. I felt like I was bridging the gap between the staff and the lawyers and doing exactly what I was hired to do. And I'm like, now what do I do? Because now I don't want to go back to where
Hmm.
where it was. And I don't really want to do this again because it's just the same thing, rinse, repeat, right? Like you try
Right.
to paint, it's not gonna happen. So I was like really like, I'm gonna take a couple months and just really think about what I want to do.
Okay.
And I just knew I didn't want to go back to law. And I told my husband that I'm like, I'm done. And he's like, what do you mean? That's what you do. I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm doing something different. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but I'm doing something different. And he couldn't he's like, this is all you've done. Like, what do you mean you're gonna do something different? And I'm 50 years old. Like, what do I do? And so we've always loved to travel and we travel a lot and people always are like, oh, where are you guys going next? And oh, are you when's your next vacation? And
Hmm.
and then they'll say, oh, your trips look so amazing. How did you find all these trips? And I said, I just love researching trips. And so we've got that over the years. And I kind of always held back about posting about it because people are also a little judgy about it, but oh, why are you traveling so much? But I thought
Right.
I might just look into this. So I kind of said it to a friend as a joke and said, well, maybe I'll just become a travel advisor. And she's like, you really should. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to plan other people's trips. And she's like, no, you really should think about it.
Hmm.
And that that night I'm like,
We love a good friend to push us over the edge. Like, tell
yeah,
me if I'm crazy, right?
yeah. Well, I said it joking, like, I really didn't even mean it, like, and then then that conversation made me think, "Maybe I should," and, like, I always had trouble sleeping, so I was up that night and, like,
Oh
started
my
looking.
God, girl, we all have that. Like
Yeah.
just laying in the bed scrolling.
Yeah,
I'm now
yeah,
picturing you like,
I know.
okay, maybe I'll think about this.
Exactly, and then, of course, when I start doing something, I'm all in, so I start looking at it and figuring out what I need to do, and then I'm like, "Okay, I'm doing this because I also do that. I'm just like, I'm just all in the minute I decide I'm gonna do something. I looked up the course, I just signed up for it, I didn't even really tell my husband,
Which
not that
course?
yeah, it was for through ACTA, so it just, like
Okay.
yeah, so I'm like, I'll just get a feel for, it was basically, like, I can't even remember what it's called, but it's basically the intro to how to be a travel advisor, so I'm
Okay.
like, "Well, this is a good
Is
thing," so
it a free course? Does it cost
no,
something? Okay.
no, I had to invest in it, it was actually considering I had no income anymore, it was scary, but I'm like, "If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna
Right.
figure if this is something that's even a thing," like, and I didn't even know if people really hired travel advisors anymore, I'm like, "I don't know, do they?" But
The ultimate question for so many
yeah,
people, do we exist?
yeah.
We do.
And so I signed up, and then I told my husband I signed up, and he was like, "What?" And my son was there too, and they're like, "Nobody hires travel advisors anymore." I'm like, "I don't know if they do." I said, "It seems like they do," because I did the research, and it's like, "Oh, no, now we need them more than ever." And I'm like, "I don't know how accurate it is."
Yes, and in fact, 23% of people still really consistently use hire, my bad, hire travel advisors, but also that number has increased 5% since COVID
Yeah.
and the pandemic. So that's just some statistic analysis for those out there wondering if we exist.
Yeah, so I did the course, like, I signed up first, then told my husband, and they thought, "Oh my gosh, like, what are you doing?" But, he's pretty supportive, he knows if I'm gonna do something,
Right.
pretty much just gonna do it, but, that I'm also very serious about it. I did all the course, and I was finished, and then I was like, "Okay, now what?" And so I'm like, that was I like this, I like the idea of doing this, and obviously, the 2 options were to work with a company, which I'm like, "I'm never being an employee again, let's no."
Mm,
And then being independent, which is what appealed to me. So I did all the
okay.
research about what that entailed, like with the host agency. And then, I started looking, how do you find a host agency? And, then the commission split and all that kind of stuff. And well, being in legal researches, I research
So
everything.
you read all your documentation.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. This is actually one of the first conversations I've had with someone who's fully read everything that they needed to read
Yeah.
prior to becoming a travel advisor.
Well, the legal background helps with that,
Yes,
right? Because
absolutely.
yeah. So I'm like,
It came in handy much earlier for you than it probably does for the rest of
yeah.
us.
Well, and that's just me, like, I need to know everything, I need to know every detail, and so I really did a lot of research on everything I needed to know, and so then I was like, "Okay, let me reach out to some host agencies." So, I kinda narrowed it down to the few in Canada that I thought, like, really got good that I felt comfortable about, and I messaged them, I think there was 3, and, I said, "Okay, here's my questions," and
Mhm.
then 2 of them got back to me with, "Oh, here's a link to our video. Watch this video, then we'll schedule a call." And it just felt very like, "Oh my god, I know what I want. I told you what I want to know, just tell me." And
Right.
so my current agency, which is Travello, they got back to me right away and just gave me the information, which I loved because
Awesome. I've heard wonderful things about Travello in Canada.
oh my gosh, I cannot even tell you how glad I am that I went with them. But that's what drew me to them is they're here's the information, like, no, go look at our video. And then I had some questions and they're like, just jumped on a call and called me right away. And we just had like a
Awesome.
very casual conversation where they answered all my questions. They were very honest. They didn't give me any like, oh yeah, you'll make all this money. They were very like they said it's probably gonna take 2 or 3 years and you're gonna have to work hard and you probably are gonna need some other income because you don't make money right
Wow.
away.
Good for them.
Yeah, and basically, like,
That's
you get
awesome.
yeah, you get what you put into it, and we're here to help you, but if you don't do anything, that's what you're gonna get, and I love that because, well, that's how it should be,
We
right?
love the real talk. We love
Yes,
the honest conversation because
yeah,
we both know that that's not as, accurate for a lot of host companies that are trying to
yeah,
like sell someone on becoming a TA versus explaining how difficult it can be. And I'm just curious, Deena, what's the biggest shock about running your own travel business compared to working in law?
Well, for me, honestly, I thought I would be way more in control of my brain and how busy, like, I mean, I've always been chaos, right? But that's just the nature of my job. So I thought,
Mhm.
well, like, I won't have that. I'll be able to structure my days. And I don't know if it's that I'm used to working that way. For me, it was really hard to be able to focus on any direction. Like, I was
Right.
literally doing 100 things every day, like, oh, I'm gonna check this email. Oh, I gotta do this training. Oh, I
Uh,
gotta. And
Yeah.
it was like, for me, it was that I still couldn't actually get rid of the chaos because there was just so much stuff to learn.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's just me, I guess. I don't think everybody maybe feels that way. But I also want to do everything
Oh,
at
I
once.
think you might be surprised to hear that we all have felt that way about travel at some point. I
Yeah,
mean, having done this for almost 2 decades, being in any sales position, you're always having to learn something new. And then on top of everything else, depending on how many products you want to know about, there's just endless opportunity to
yeah,
learn, and everyone wants your attention, right?
yeah,
So I'm not surprised that it felt that way, especially in the beginning when you're learning something brand new. Like,
yeah,
even though you have all these amazing skill sets, you're now in a sales position on your own, commissionable, it's lonely too, I think. You're not showing up at an office, talking to people, drinking coffee with people. You're just in your office like, what do I do next?
yeah. Well, honestly, with Travello, I don't really feel alone, and that's another thing I
Oh,
love about them.
good.
They literally hand feed us so much support that you literally cannot be successful if you're trying. Like,
Love that.
they have a whole support group for new to industry agents. Like, we have our own group so that when you're asking questions, there's not seasoned agents that are like, "Oh my god, we know
Oh
all."
my
And
gosh. Take a book or take a page out of
yeah,
Travello's book over here. I am
oh my god.
obsessed.
Yeah,
That's
and so
amazing.
they immediately put you in there. They're in contact with you. They know your name, they know your story. They like interact with you personally. And so these groups are all new to industry advisors, so we kind of get to bond. They have meetings once a week. And then once you're comfortable, then you get moved into the second level with the experienced advisors, and they have those once a week also. And it's like
Wow, good.
Zoom calls. Like, so you actually have like interaction and support, and they just honestly they just throw so much support at us that you just don't feel alone. If you do, it's because you're choosing to be.
Okay. I love this. So, are you comfortable sharing like about the host split situation? Because I know in
Absolutely.
Canada it can be very different than the US. So,
It's yeah, it's amazing. Like, honestly, when I started for the first year, I kept waiting for the real like stuff behind the scenes, right? Because you're always kind of fed the great things, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I'm waiting for the bad things, and they never came. And so when I started,
awesome.
the commission was different. It was, I think I started at 79%,
Oh,
at
wow.
8, and then you would move up, like, with certain increments. But about a
Okay.
year in, it was, oh, at the beginning of January this year, they changed our commission. So when they actually, we went into the US now. So there's the US division.
Mhm.
And then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna change the commission." I'm like, "Okay, here we go. Like, this is where it happens."
Right.
Well, they introduced this, and I'm like, "There is a catch to this," because they bumped everyone up to starting at 85. Like, you instantly start at 85%. Then once you make 15,000 in gross commission, you get 100%.
Whoa.
And so I'm like, "What?"
I'm like poking on that information.
Yes.
Excuse
And I
me.
was like, "What the
That's
heck?
amazing.
This can't be true." And so
I'm
I just
obsessed with this. I did
yeah,
not know this. I
yes,
love finding new so I'm trying to figure out the Canadian market like a little bit because I have
yep.
so many wonderful Canadian agents. I have never heard of this ever.
I know. We all were. And honestly, I can't even believe it, but a lot of agents didn't go to the new platform because they felt like there was a catch, like, or
Oh,
they didn't.
wow.
So, I jumped on that right away, and it's legit. Like, it is legit. Like, and I
Wow.
can't even explain it. I know, I was shocked too, because I'm like, when they said new commission, I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, now," I'm like, "No, it's better." They
Wow.
really are
That's
amazing.
wonderful. That's what real agent support looks like. I get a lot of backlash because it's always like, Marcie hates hosts, Marcie hates agency owners. I don't hate anyone, first of all. That's weird. What I hate is the toxic environment that a lot of host companies, I don't think on purpose create, but it turns into like a snowball effect from leadership down.
Mhm.
But if leadership down understands the needs of their agents, you will have more Deenas than you
Mhm.
will have washouts.
Yep.
Because, and it kind of sucks for those agents that were not trustworthy of this company that had already shown them how incredibly supportive they are,
Yeah.
and they would leave. But I'm so glad for you that you stayed,
Yeah.
because now here we are.
Well, they didn't leave. They just didn't like, we could transition to the new
Oh, they
platform
just
or
didn't
stay,
want to
and they
hop over.
well, yeah, because I think they're just waiting to see, okay, what's the catch? And I admit, I kinda was wondering that too, but I'm like, I
Sure.
can't see anything wrong.
I know
But
it's in our natural, like, human mind to be like, "Wait, what? No,
yeah,
negative, negative, negative."
yeah.
But they've
And
really showed up for you guys. I love that.
And I think anybody that is in Trevello knows the support because, like, another thing that I just found amazing was everyone in head office, and it's really
Mhm.
a very, like, a very woman heavy, like, head office, which is
Woo!
awesome.
We love that.
Everyone, when they start, like, when they open a conversation, right up to the CEO says, "What can we do to help you be more successful?" That's, like, amazing. Like, I've never had that asked of me ever.
Right. Because law firms and lawyers are not sitting around wondering how do they make the paralegal more
No.
successful or more comfortable or working in a better environment. That does
Yeah.
not exist. Like,
Well,
it's just
I
not the
know.
same way.
And so even when I talk to, like, when the BDMs come to visit and, we'll have lunch and they'll ask how I like working there, I'm like, "Oh, they're so amazing." And they're like, "That's not normal, just so you know. Like, you guys really are different." And I believe it.
I am obsessed with this, Deena. I am so happy for you. But I do want to talk about something that you put in your form, because I always ask the question, have you ever just, like, you're obviously happy, you have all the support, you're getting great commission, but have you ever just felt like you wanted to throw in the towel? Like,
Um,
F this, I'm done. I can't do this. We know it's hard, but like, even having all that support, you said that you had a moment of like complete meltdown
oh,
moment.
absolutely. And it was really early on. And that support was great. It wasn't because of that. It was just because of the clients. And it's not even necessarily the clients. It's the way that I was allowing them to come to me.
Mhm.
Because again, I wasn't really sure I was going to do this. So I basically was putting it out there, basically like, oh, come, come book your trip with me. I hope you will, just basically like, this is what I'm doing. Love to help you out. And I was really just happy for anything. So anybody that
Mhm.
came to me, I would just go running and do whatever I could to help them. And I approach it very differently than I ever have even any interviewed in the law firms. Like, 'cause I always came to an interview with, this is why you should hire me. This is what I bring to the table, not, oh, please hire me. But for some reason, and I think maybe just the confidence and not sure, knowing, I was really putting it out there, just, oh, well, somebody just,
Like, kinda casually, like, not sure if you wanted to
yeah.
actually get a vacation booking.
Yeah, and so people
Yeah.
were, like, very supportive, and I loved it, and it's not that I'm not even blaming the clients because I think I blame myself really because of how I was putting it out there, but it was a learning thing, but
Mhm.
so people were just coming to me to support me, but basically it was on their terms, right? Like, "Well, can you do this?" Like, treating me like a booking engine, and I was just allowing it. So, I was
Right.
operating like that, where I was, you know, looking at, tons of different options and the cheapest and the best deal and not telling them that this is not gonna be great, and they're like, "No, we just want cheap, we don't care." And so, I was just bending over backwards trying to,
Of
like,
course.
do anything and everything and, like,
Yeah.
give me a million proposals because they wanted so many options, and it was just
Ugh,
exhausting. And so I was
that
working
is
with
rough.
a group of 6, and I never questioned they were gonna book with me because I know I kind of had a relation, like, I knew the person that reached out to me, and there was no
Yeah.
question about it. So they were all in different cities. They all had kinda different dates, and of course the flights are different, but they all wanted the same resort. And so they were looking also, and of course on Expedia and all these, and
Ugh,
I know, but
gag.
they're like, "Oh, these people wanna go this many days, and we wanna go this days," and there was just so many weird
Just
components.
chaos.
Yeah, so it's like,
And
well,
no, like, really.
exactly, and basically, like, "Here, like, look at this package deal. Well, now look at flights separate and hotel separate, and then look at this," and I was doing that all, and I was like, it was so crazy, like, I was using Travefy, and I was trying to, like, tag everyone, and, like, it was so much chaos, and I'm like, I was looking at this going, "I don't even know what this is anymore."
Right, right.
And so, anyway, we finally kinda got it down, and then I messaged them because I knew they were looking, and they're like, "Oh, what about this? Like, it's cheaper this here and there." And so I finally said, "Okay, we got the dates down, we got the flights. This is the cheapest price I can get, but it's through like a third party. Like it was through." And I said, "The thing is, they will have control of the flights, so I don't like that." And this was all in messaging because at the time I was doing all messaging, and so they said, "Well, that's a deal breaker then." And I was like, What do you mean it's a deal breaker?" So I finally got
Right.
on the phone. I said, "Okay, what's a deal breaker?" And they're like, "Oh, we already booked." Um,
What?
I'm like,
In between, how long was it between like, "Hey guys, I wanna get on the phone,"
maybe
to
like
"We
an
booked"?
hour or two. Like, I don't
What?
know. Like, I think
Oh my
they,
god, I hate people though.
I
I
know. And
mean,
I
we're
was
not
like,
blaming them, but let's be real,
yeah,
like, you're right there talking this is
exactly.
such a thing that happens,
Yeah.
especially to new advisors. I hate that for you, Deena.
Oh my God. I was just like, I couldn't even believe it. Cause I'm like, I literally spent probably a month and a half and like daily, just like,
A month
oh,
and a
oh
half?
my gosh, it was so they just really
Oh,
were budget clients and they just really like it was so exhausting. And so she's like, "Well, we don't want to go through a third party. We wanted you to book direct." I'm like, "That is what I told you." I said, "I wish you would have talked to me." And she's like, "Oh, sorry. Yeah, I guess we misunderstood." And one of the couples found it way cheaper than what you were offering. And I was like, for one, I had a hard time believing that, but whatever. But I'm like, I can't even believe they didn't get on the phone and just talk to me and they just booked it. But I
they
know
just
that
didn't see you as almost like a person. It was like,
yeah,
you're just I don't know, for lack of a better word, like, you're just the help. Like, you're just
yeah,
helping them and
exactly.
figure it out, and then they can just go book
Yeah.
however they want, and this happens so much, and we do not talk about it enough.
Yeah.
Like,
And I know I was actually heartbroken. So that's exactly how I
"Oh,
felt. I'm like, okay, now I feel like I'm an employee. And that's
I'm
not what I wanted.
sorry."
And I honestly do think in hindsight, people just don't know how we
Yeah,
get paid. And they don't really understand that we just worked for free for how long? It doesn't, and even now, I love when people ask me, okay, I hate asking this, but how you get paid? And I'm like, I love that you're asking because you care. Like,
right.
instead of just being like, oh, you're just a booking engine kind of thing. So that is when I signed up. I swear that was the day. And I was in tears when I signed up for that.
Oh my god. Were you like, "I have to have some wine and figure out what is going on?" Like, how did you find I assume Maximize, that's where
Yeah.
most
Yeah, of
people
course.
find my information, but how did you find the courses that were, like, speaking to you? Like, you were like, "I am done, the wine is out, what is
Yeah.
going on? I'm crying, it's too
Well,
much,
I've
I'm
been
sorry."
lurking for a while and I've been following you and like I really love the no nonsense. Like I love the honesty. I'm like that. I interact like that. I
Right,
surround myself with people like that. So I was really drawn to just like your message and your way of like communicating. So I had followed along and I was lurking and I was like, okay, I feel like I need these courses, but I had no income. So I was like, I cannot
right.
invest in anything. My husband was like, what do you mean you're not going back to work? You're going to do this full time? Cause I'd kind of told him, I'm thinking I might just do this. He's like, there's no way. And I'm like, okay, just give me a little while and then I'll get a side job. But I need to just get this
So
up. And
how long before from, like, the day you signed up with Travello, you did the training, you were doing the things, you said it happened early on that you just got burnt. Like, that's basically what happened, we get burnt so bad and you're like, "Okay, I've been lurking around." How long had you been lurking around? And also just tell us more about that journey with your husband because he's like, "Seriously, what is happening?" What
yeah,
kinds of conversations were you having with him while you're lurking to say, "How long can I do this until you're fed up with me doing this
yeah,
before you quote unquote let me do it?"
right.
Like, because that's something I think a lot of people forget is like we're in this partnership. Many people are still married and we're trying to figure all this out. We're not making any money. Like,
Well,
what does that look like at home?
oh my gosh. Well, hey, honestly, like, well, for one, I never expected not to go back to work because I've always worked. Like, we've always
Mhm.
had two incomes. I've always had a good income. We've never worried about that. I've never not been able to work, and I literally could have went back to work probably the next day in the legal field. But so that's never been a concern. And then, like, he was okay with me taking a couple months off to like just figure it out. But we both thought I would just go back to work full time in the legal field, even if I did the travel advisor thing. This was
Okay.
kind of a backup plan. Like we like to travel, so he can retire anytime, but he won't yet. But so it's kind of like, well, I'll learn this, then we'll do this while you retire. I can do this when we go. But the more I got into it, the more I'm like, this is my passion, like helping people.
Mhm.
I love it. I'm like, And then I'm like, I really just knew I didn't want to go back. And the
Okay.
more I thought about it, the more it just made me ill thinking of going back to that. I just couldn't. So I'm like, I think I want to make a go of this. And like with the support from Travello, that made that decision stronger. Like, because I was like,
Okay.
okay, I have a supportive community. I have support here to build this business. I know I can do it. And I know
Right.
that I have people coming to me already. But he saw me working so many hours and spinning my wheels and literally making no money. And
How
also,
many hours were you working?
oh my God, I was working like, well, and on the fly, like all the time. Like it
It's
constantly.
innumerable. Like, if you're working like that, you
Yeah,
have no idea how much you're working.
exactly. And he saw
Yeah.
it though. And he's like,
Yeah.
you're like working so hard and making no money. You're making less than minimum wage. And I said, well, you have to build up a business though. Just be patient and like give me some time. And so when stuff like that happened, he was like, see, this is not something you can do. And I'm like, I
It's
feel like
just
I
not
can.
sustainable.
Yeah, and I
I
get
mean,
it, and
yeah.
not having money is huge, like, if he just came home and said, like, "I'm gonna go do something fun and, not bring an income in," like, I would have been like, "What the frick, too?" Like,
What is going on in here? Like,
I
well,
know.
he's right. We wouldn't really be comfortable with I
No,
certainly can admit I would not have been comfortable at any point if Eric was like, I'm
no.
no longer going to be an engineer. I'm going to do something that doesn't even pay me for probably a
Yeah,
year to a year and a half. We would all look at him like he had 14 heads and had accidentally gotten hit by a car outside and we didn't know about it.
exactly, like,
Like, what is happening?
so it's totally fair, and I'm so grateful that he
Mhm.
is supportive to me in most things, and I mean, he would have told me not to do it, and he probably he's getting a little bit better on board now, but he would have told me to stop it,
We're going to give him a pass.
he would have told me to stop it immediately, but he also knows that when I want to do something, I'm going to do it. Like, I mean, but I obviously want his support, and he is always there, even though we've had
It
some
is
moments.
easier.
Yeah,
It's
we've had some
easier.
moments with the no income thing, and I get it, but I was just like, trust me, like, and then so it went from give me 2 months to give me a year. Give me a year to build this.
I think that's fair. I mean, if you're really gonna build it,
Yeah.
it
And
does
I
take at least a year to
And
even
I said,
know.
if I am totally flopping in a year, I will abandon this. I will go back to work full time, but please just give me a year and I'll still try to work for like find something part time, which I did. I
Okay.
can't say that I wasn't putting it in the universe like, oh, don't call me, but I did. And I was looking, but it's hard to find that balance. But so he has been supportive, but when that happened and I was in tears, he was like, see, look, like this is not worth it for you. And I'm like, but I feel like I can do it. I need to know how to do it better. Like, I
Right.
need to figure out how to not put myself out there like I'm an employee and that I am, like, running a business.
Working for you as a client instead of working with you and partnering with your clients.
But
Yes.
I needed the confidence to, like, because I was new, so I didn't have that yet where I felt like I could just put it out there like, "Yeah, I'm an expert. I know what I'm doing." Because I felt like, "Well,
Mhm.
people know I just started. They're not gonna believe that," you know?
Yeah, but you're well traveled. You
Yeah.
have this incredible organizing background. You are obviously highly intelligent. I mean, you have to be a
Oh,
paralegal and
yeah.
deal with all the things. Not to mention manage lawyers.
Yeah.
Like, hello, that skill set alone to me is like a
Yeah.
stamp. I would hire you in a minute
Yeah.
if I hired people, which I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
But I think it's when that mindset shift has to come in too, where you're
Yeah.
like, "No, I want this and I am gonna be good at this because of all my history." Like,
Yeah.
historically speaking, you've been extremely, extremely successful.
Yeah, no, I thought it was, and so I knew I could do it. And I was like, well,
Awesome.
I needed that confidence, but I also had to be honest that, yeah, if I'm working like this is not sustainable and it's not making an
Mhm.
income. And I don't blame him for being like, what the frick, like, stop doing this now. But
Right.
that was a wake up call to me that I need to reach out and get some help and I need to do this right away. And it's not that I didn't feel like I had that from Travello, but I felt like internally I just needed to find something that matched me and what I wanted to put out there. And I really felt like that's what you were offering. So I am like, I have no money. I was so grateful you had a payment plan. I signed up, didn't tell him, and I'm like, this is what's
What
gonna
did you sign up for first?
propose to close because that's what
Oh,
I feel
that's
like
the
it
good
needed.
yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah,
Everybody always says, like, "Get started with first class community," but I'm like, if
yeah,
you need help selling,
yeah.
like, get your butt and propose to
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I'm all in. Like, if I'm gonna make a go of this, I'm gonna like invest in something that's going to help me get there. And that's what brought me there. And I was literally in tears when I signed up. And I'm like, okay, I'm spending money I don't have. Like, I'm already kind of in the bad books because I'm having no money. Now I'm investing in this.
Wow. Well, find that to be incredible. And I'm so grateful that you trusted the processes of propose to close, because I read your form and it said that you like immediately dove into it too. Like no time wasted to get it fully complete.
Oh no, but that's me. Like if I want to do something, I'm all in instantly. There's
Well, and you
no,
invested in it. I mean, it's an expensive course compared to
yeah,
some others out there. So
yeah,
I hate the word expensive, but
yeah.
that investment. So have you felt like that was a worthy investment of your initial, like, no income situation?
I honestly, it was almost immediately. Like I can't even remember, but I think the calendar control was really early
Mm,
on, and that was like a light bulb. And it's like after I was like, when I got that and I heard it, I was like, it seems so obvious. Like why did I
mhm.
not even realize that? Like I need to like make this a business and not just like make myself available all the time. And it just really opened up a whole like, okay, there is like I can do this, and that
Yes,
makes so much sense.
I fucking love that, because it does seem like when you hear it in module 2, you're like, "Why didn't I think of this
Yeah.
myself?" But when you're deep into the hustle culture mindset of I've got to get clients, I've got to say yes to everything, I have to PM in the DMs and whatever. You feel like this is my opportunities, right? Like they're coming to me, I need to answer them right away. So, what about calendar control has really rippled through not just your business life, but your home life and the family time and your stress levels?
Well, that was another issue is like Warren, he works in like he's a millwright. So he works with his hands. He's always been like so he really never does get the being on a computer as a job. Like to him, like, even though I did that,
Mhm.
I wasn't at home, but now at home, he just sees me on a computer and he's like, well, that's like not that he doesn't think I'm working, but he's just like, so that was a hard concept for him to see that I was now at home sitting on a computer, not getting
Right.
paid, but I was also on my phone constantly. So I was
Mm,
like, the minute somebody messaged, I was like, oh my God, somebody wants to hire me and I got to do this. And I was sending, and it was just constant no matter where we were. So of course that was frustrating because it was like
right.
mid sentence, I'd be like, oh, stop talking to him. And,
Yeah.
we were on vacation and I'm like, doing this and that, staying back and, messaging from the pool and like, all these things. And so it was obviously causing a lot of issues, but I'm like, I need these clients. I need people to like, and he's like, see, it's not worth it. Like you're doing all this, spending all your time working and getting no money. And so the minute that clicked in, I'm like, I actually can have control over my time and let people know this is a business. Like again, it's
Mhm.
just so obvious, but it really just instantly felt freeing to know that and that I could
Awesome.
separate it
Right.
and that I should. And
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, we're just not told this. Like, it
yeah,
doesn't matter how good your host company is, they're not gonna tell you, like, control your calendar.
yeah.
You wouldn't even know what that actually means, which is why that module is so important, because it literally walks you through the steps of
Oh,
put yourself first. If you've ever read Profit First, it's kind of like pay yourself first. And in this mindset, it's give yourself back your own time first, and then look at your calendar to see where the travel advisor business fits into your life instead
yeah,
of it running your life. And
exactly.
just nobody has ever taught us that. Like, and it's not because they want us like drowning, but sadly, the sales, industry as a whole, not just in travel, is like go, 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 do, respond, respond, respond. And it was like, no, we're moms, we're caregivers, we're wives, we're friends, and it's like I'm trying to have a conversation. I shouldn't have to stop to talk to this person unless they're traveling and I can say to my husband, hey, I have 6 travelers on a plane right now. If they need anything, I might have to stop our conversation, versus I'm just going to stop our conversation anytime somebody messages me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so that really instantly made a change, really, because
love
even when
that.
I told Warren about that, I said, okay, well, if people ask, tell them that they have to make an appointment. He's like, well, that people aren't going to want to make an appointment. I said, well, we're going to have,
I love
well,
how he's like, don't do that, but
yeah,
just isn't going to work either.
but he was just like, it was so
We love
nervous.
a husband.
Yeah.
We love a husband vibe.
But, and I get it. Like, he was just so nervous. He's like, oh my gosh, if you're going to do this, like, you can't scare people away, but I also don't want you doing this. But I think that he realized really quickly too that it was such a good balance. And then, and then the more I started saying, okay, I'm only going to work with certain people, like, they have to make an appointment. If they're not, then I'm not going to work with them. And then he started seeing that I was getting better clients. And so I was working less. And the people that weren't serious, like that wouldn't even make an appointment, well, then they clearly weren't probably not even going to book a trip either.
Right.
It didn't take long for, I think, both of us to realize that was an amazing move.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
I'm so glad that it made almost what you feel is like an immediate shift.
Oh, it did. 100% it
Do you
did. Like,
feel like
even
you got your return on investment back quickly, or do you like even in time, or do you feel like it takes that much longer? Like, where are your sales at now in comparison to when you were first getting started?
well, at first, like, I was selling mostly just, like, really cheap all-inclusives because that's, like, that's what we have from here, like, and so I really didn't make a lot. Like, I did make sales, but because they were so, it was just a really budget all-inclusive in here, it was
Yeah.
so low. And I've got my 100% commission, I think, in the first 5 months this year, so
Oh my gosh. In your second year, you got
yeah,
to your 100% in
yeah,
5 months. So that's
yeah,
15,000 in
yeah,
commissionable income.
yeah, yeah.
That is awesome.
I was just like,
And
"Okay,
you're using propose to close.
absolutely, 100%." And
I am
yeah,
obsessed. Oh my
I
god.
yeah,
Congratulations.
well, thank you. Like,
Oh my
honestly,
god.
I follow everything. Like, again, I dive in and, like, if I'm gonna invest in this, I'm 100%, I'm gonna listen to everything. And so,
I love that, Deena.
yeah, like, there was a lot of scariness, like, a lot. Like, I really worried about scaring clients away, but I'm like, "No, I signed up for this, I paid for it, I'm doing it." Like, whether it's scary or not, I'm gonna do it. And,
I love that. Oh
it
my
did
gosh.
scare some people away, but I learned over time it's the right people, like, and not to be offended if people aren't, like, wanting to use my services. Like, I honestly never get offended. Like, I think Warren does a little bit more because we were like, "Oh, so and so went on a trip and they didn't contact you." I'm like, "Nah, whatever." I'm like, I only wanna work with people that wanna work with
Now
me.
he's defensive. He's like,
I
"You're
know.
the best. Like,
Well,
why didn't they hire you?"
I know.
I
Like,
am obsessed with Warren.
yeah,
You tell him he
yeah,
is a good egg. Like,
yeah, yeah,
it's just the rational side too, like that balance of like, I'm going for it. And then he's like, but.
yeah,
And now he's like, what the hell? They're not working with
I
you? This is
know.
bullshit.
Well,
I'm
he's
obsessed.
him and I are so different. Like, he's very cautious. He's not one to make a jump without thinking, and I'm the opposite. So we kind of balance each other out,
That's
which has always been
perfect.
great because I'm all
Shall
like,
we all have a Warren? We
yeah.
all need a Warren in our lives too.
But
That's
he's a
amazing.
lot more supportive now because he sees that this is something that it can be real, and he sees, like, as I'm
It
improving,
is
I
real.
yes,
It
and
is real.
it is.
It's not can be. You're doing
No,
the
I'm
damn
saying
thing.
he is thinking that way because,
I
he's
know.
still I knew, like, right from the beginning, I'm like, "I can make this work. I just need to figure out how to do it properly." But now he's seeing, like, all the changes I made and how it's working for me and I'm getting busier. He's a lot more like, "Okay, like, this is it," and he's really good at, promoting me and everything, where I think at first he was just like, "Ugh, like, what are people gonna think?" Like, just because
I
it
know. I know. I can relate to that feeling. I'm
yeah,
sure a lot of us can relate. Like we've told our husband this and he thinks it might just be this little hobby,
yeah,
midlife crisis. In your case, maybe like, oh, you've done this thing for 30 years. Who do you think you are, like changing and
yeah,
doing something brand new? Like, are we too old for that? And I just genuinely believe we're never too old to like try something new, be something that we've always wanted to be for
yeah.
ourselves. And I feel like you really leaned into that. You didn't have like kids at home even like making
No.
fun of how do your adult children feel about you being a travel advisor and like what is your relationship with them like?
Oh, well, my son is he's very blunt too. And he was like, of course, he made fun of me at first. He was 23 at the time. So he's like, what do you mean you're going to be a travel advisor? He's like, I've never even heard of anybody use a travel advisor ever. And I'm like, well, of course you haven't. You're 23. Like,
You have no money to go
yeah.
on a vacation, let alone hire a travel.
But they also know that I am not one to sit around and not do anything. Like, I think that Warren really initially kind of thought that I was using it as a way to just secretly retire and pretend I was just,
Okay. Okay.
because he didn't think it was real. And so, yeah, Broxton made fun of me, but they kind of just know that if I'm gonna run with something, I'm gonna run with it. And my daughter's always supportive. She's very sweet and very, positive. And she was a little bit younger and was kind of like, man, whatever, this is what mom's doing now. Like weird, she's changing
Right.
careers, but um, they know that if I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do it, and I'm 100% going to run with it. And Bob's actually worked from home too, so we spend a lot of time like his lunch hours and stuff. So
Well,
he saw,
that's really cool.
yeah, he saw how hard I was working, and so he
Mhm.
knew, like, he knew the effort I was putting in, and he's in, he's in a computer, like, he does a data developer type stuff. So I ask him stuff, computer stuff once in a while, and he always makes
Sure.
fun of me and calls
Like
me a
your own
boomer.
personal IT person.
Yeah, people was like, "Okay, I'll help you with your boomer stuff," and I always said, "I'm not a boomer, I'm Gen X. Stop saying that." I'm
You're
like,
like, "Whatever, millennial,
yeah, exactly.
whatever." I guess he's probably a Zer,
Yeah,
because
and
I'm an
so
old millennial. They call me my kids are like, "You're an old millennial." I'm like, "What does that even mean?"
I
So,
know. So
that's
he always
fun.
calls me boomer, but he'll always be like, "Oh, I'll help you with your boomer stuff." I'm like, "You should be happy that I still wanna learn stuff." I said, "I just need to understand how this works," and so he'd help
Of
me out a little.
course.
And even when I told him I was doing this podcast, I called him to make sure it sounded good yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, you're just gonna be like the boomer mom with your face all really close," and he just likes to bug me. And I'm like, "I'm a Gen X."
I love that. Well, I love that your family and everyone around you has really lifted you up and
Yeah.
you were really, I hate to use the word lucky because you did so much research. So I'll say that you just really did it right, Deena. Like you researched this, you took a time to choose. And I think if we all slowed down a little bit out of our excitement, because that's really, I think, how we get caught up, right?
Yeah.
And so doing that has really set you off on the right path right away. And then obviously finding somebody that you mesh with in terms of mentorship is huge. I love that for you. And I'm so proud of you. I think this is such a cool story that I think so many travel advisors are going to be inspired by because you didn't give up when it got hard. You made a pivot early. You didn't let it happen like 40 more times. Like, no, I'm not going to be treated like this anymore. I'm going to make this change. So, like, I'm curious if you were to give 3 pieces of advice, freebie, like you can walk out of this podcast today, you can get out of your car line and go straight home and do something for free for your business that doesn't cost any extra. It's not investing in a course. Like, what would you advise a new travel agent or a veteran, a new or veteran travel agent to do today to move their business forward? 3 pieces of advice.
Okay, calendar control for sure, obviously, I've
We
talked.
love, I mean,
Yeah.
yes. And guys, if you have ADHD, I swear calendar control will make you so happy. I thought it was going to be really challenging, but I love a color coded calendar. So like, where do you keep your calendar at, Deena?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not very good at that.
Oh, she's like, never mind. I don't really want to talk about this.
No, yeah. No, I have Calendly and, like, my attached all my stuff like that. Like, I did all the things you told me to do.
Perfect. So
Um,
link it all up,
yeah,
share it with your family, make sure
yeah,
everybody knows what's going on. But first and foremost, that you know what's going on.
absolutely, and it is,
Absolutely.
like, Warren has the link, and so he knows what I have for appointments and what I've got going on and all that stuff. The second one would be to really come in with confidence instead of, like, acting like, "Oh," like, you know
Nervous. Yeah.
yeah, like, you really like, if you're doing this, you really obviously do have passion and skill and something that you're offering people, and you really need to lead with that so that people have confidence in you, because if you're not confident yourself, people are not gonna be confident in you. So,
Right.
I wish I would've come in like I normally would in my legal career, as this is what you're getting, instead of like, "Well, okay, I'll do anything you ask," because that's not me. Like,
Right.
I can't even believe that I even ever did that, but I did because I wasn't sure. I was like,
Yeah, I understand though, because when we're trying something new, we have that imposter syndrome, and
yeah,
I talk to a lot of advisors who are like, I just don't know. And I'm not sure if I should do this. It's like, but you already did the most courageous thing, which is step forward into this career, which is an entrepreneurial career that takes gumption. That takes like
yeah.
grit. So you have to like dig deep in your stomach some days to like be more confident. But I understand why it happens. But I love that you recognize very early on that you were going to have to shift that mindset or it was not going to work.
For sure. Like, I was just spinning my wheels
Hmm.
for sure. And like I said, I was lurking in the background with your courses for a while, like, just because I did stumble upon them pretty early with
Hmm.
Lori, like, and so I had already been following you. And so I knew that that was something I wanted to invest in. So Yeah, when I was like, "Okay, things aren't working," like, I know what I need to do, and this is what I need to invest in, and so, yeah, I'm really glad for you, honestly, and I appreciate that that resource is out there because I know you continue to say that, you get pushback, but, like, thank God for you because I went to conference this year, and, like, met many seasoned advisors, and I heard some of them saying things that I was like, "Oh my gosh, they've been doing this forever, and they're still like, frustrated with things that I was frustrated at the beginning, and I'm like, "This needs to go."
It does. And I think it's hard for seasoned advisors who are in habitual cycles to get out of them. I mean, that's basically what happened to me. I burnt out after being in the industry for 8 years, and it's super hard to come back from that. Like, if you, and especially like fully pivot and change when you have already been doing it a certain way forever,
Yep,
but they don't necessarily see it as a negative. They just feel like shit, but they
yep,
don't know, like, there's no one saying it doesn't have to be this way. I mean,
yep.
that's really how this all came to be. Was I was like, guys, it doesn't have to be this way. Like, I'm doing it like this. And my husband was the one that was like, you could teach him how to do this, and I'm like, no one is gonna listen to me. What the fuck? Like, I already am annoying. And I have, I get pushback all the time. I got kicked out of a Facebook group for being a know-it-all and dropping my link and shouldn't have
Oh
dropped my
my god.
link. But I'm like, but my link is like, it's not even about the sale. It's like,
Yeah,
I just want you to have access to more
yeah,
information to make better choices so that you can get out of the DM cycle. I feel like it's just such a cycle, and we think this is the only way to do it. So I'm just like, whenever I talk to a new advisor, I'm so proud of the work because it doesn't have to be this way, but also I didn't think that that's who I wrote this for. I thought I wrote it for the veteran who needed change because that's who I was.
yeah.
But it turns out you guys are fucking kicking ass and taking names and really showing that this industry can change in the most incredible positive way. Like, it makes me want to cry. And it's the reason these results is why I keep getting up and just like, I don't care about the emails I get. I don't care about like the hate mail I get because there's way more of you willing to talk about this now than there, than are that are going to roll up on me anymore. So it's been awesome watching you and just
Well,
like so cool. Okay, y'all, let's pause for a quick break. I need you to know you have never been trained in sales. Yeah, you might know how to use your CRM and book a preferred vendor or post on Instagram, but none of that teaches you how to close the damn sale. And if you're tired of hearing that travel sells itself while you watch prospects take your hard work and book elsewhere, it's time to fucking change that. I am introducing you to the Propose to Close sales course, a no BS step by step program designed to help travel advisors like you weed out tire kickers, stop quoting in the DMs, and finally close sales without feeling pushy or salesy. This intensive 10-hour, 9-module course will teach you how to qualify prospects, send one fabulous proposal instead of 5, 10, 15, build real connections very quickly, and close the sale in under a week. Whether you're brand new or a veteran stuck in burnout, this course will give you the skills and confidence to transform your travel business and your fucking life. So, if you're ready to stop spinning those wheels and start running a business that works for you, head to my website to grab the Propose to Close sales course. And don't forget to check out the show notes for an exclusive coupon code. Okay, now back to the pod.
well, honestly, like, you don't know, right? When you start, you just don't like, I mean, I love travel. I knew how to do the research. I had all the travel back, like, for what we needed to know. And they do touch on all this stuff too, but again, they just give you the information and you need to like kind of take and ask what like questions for like and so I didn't even know what I needed to ask or what I needed to do. And I think that's why there's so many people that don't do it differently because like you said, nobody's told them it doesn't have to be like that.
Right.
And I actually lead now a lot of times when people ask me, well, what can you look for this trip? And I will say I probably work differently than what you have in the past with other travel advisors or what you believe, but this is what it's like to work with me. And again, that's your like, your voice in my head.
Okay.
But I put it right out there right at the beginning so that people understand. Like I'm not a booking engine. This is probably different than what you're expecting, but
Right.
this is what my business model is. And I really find that really helps right from the beginning.
Right, you're setting an expectation, and it's so easy to set that expectation. Is that your number 3? I interrupted you and didn't get to us.
Yeah. Well, I think my number 3 would be to just really treat it like a business. Like,
Mm,
like you're you're leading. Like you're the one that tells people to work with you and you like repeat that over and over and it's so true. Because it's not hard to do. Like it's just you have to make sure that you do it right from the beginning and that you're confident in that and to really
mhm.
believe it yourself that this is your business and these people are coming to you because they want your services. You're not out there begging people to work with you. Well, at least I don't want to, and I feel like the more confidence you get, the more you portray that too is, you're coming to
Absolutely.
me, I'm here to do what you need, but I'm not out there begging you to work with me because, like, you're coming to me for services, you know?
Well, yeah, I always say, like, they asked you for help.
Yeah,
So if you're annoying them, that's on them because they
exactly.
literally asked you to get this information together for them. So you do need to do the steps to get them booked, or
Yeah.
they're not going to get booked. They're just going to be like, you ghosted me because you were afraid to follow up or you were afraid to ask me questions. And that is 100% true. And the people who don't want to be bothered, they will figure their way out of it, especially using the option sequence that I have for you guys with the option 1, option 2,
Yeah.
option 3.
I would love it. Yeah.
And you can use it in every single part of your business to get an answer from somebody.
Well,
Like,
and
we're going to
that
make this easy on you to respond.
exactly, and I love that too because it gives people an out without it being awkward, so you can literally walk away from that without either of you feeling like it was a negative situation,
Absolutely.
and I do feel that way. And like if I'm not the fit for you, that is totally fine. Like I have no
Mhm.
emotion attached to that at all because this is what it's like to work with me. And what I found is that it's really opened up the opportunity for me to realize how much I really love customizing people's trips and not just
Love that.
booking an all inclusive. And that's really what I get joy out of is working with the detailed trips and really planning them and really
Mhm.
customizing them. And so by having people come in and charging a fee. That was another thing that
Ooh, I love a fee. So what do you charge as a new travel advisor?
at first I was just selective and I was like, well, I'll charge $50 here and there. And then I started realizing, okay, people don't mind paying this. And like in your groups and stuff, we talk about that all the time and having the confidence. And I try to participate in the groups, so I'll put stuff out there. And I think it was you that just said, like, why are you giving friends and family a discount? I'm like, well, because I feel like I should. And then I'm like, I don't know. Why am I? Like, I'm still doing the
We must
service.
normalize not giving discounts to our
Yeah.
friends and family and also not asking for one. I would not ask my cousin who does hair to give me a discount on my hair. Like
Yeah.
you're like I want to be a very specific blonde, okay? So I don't really want you to be back there mad that I asked for this discount and like
Yeah.
mess with my hair. Why would we ask a vacation planner to discount their services when they're going to be busting their ass for us? Like we want to make sure they answer their phone when we're stranded at the airport.
Yeah.
Those services, that time is valuable and should be paid for. So what are you charging now?
Well, and then like that was more for not even all inclusives because I thought, well, people aren't going to pay for all inclusives. And then again, in
Mm,
one of your groups, somebody said they paid, and I'm like, what? People will pay you for all inclusive? I'm like, well, yeah, they do. And I'm like, well, I don't think anybody will. And I'm like, and then again, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start charging people again more. It's like, well, nobody's going to pay for it all inclusive. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I need to because I'm getting all these budget clients now, which
mhm.
I appreciate that people have budgets. It's not that I don't love that they're coming to me. Like I always appreciate anybody that comes to me. But, like, it's the work is double, like, most of
It
the time,
is. I
and
don't think
so
people realize that, Dina. Like,
yeah,
and I don't think we would have realized it if
no,
we weren't actually experiencing it every day, but it takes so much more effort to find the perfect property for a client who has less than $3,000 to spend. And that can be so challenging. So your time on that alone is worth being paid.
yeah, and just realizing that the clients that are looking for the cheapest deal and want the cheapest resort and literally want that don't need me. I don't
Mhm.
need to book that trip for you, and I also don't want to book that resort because I know you're gonna hate it, so I don't want
Yeah.
my name attached to it. So,
Mhm.
I really just tell people, like, "You know what? If this is like, I customize trips, I do this." If and they're like, "Oh, I just want a cheap budget trip." And I'm like, "Well, you don't need me for that. Like, you can just go book that then, and maybe next time you'll want to work with me."
Mhm.
And being okay with that because I really don't want to book those trips. I wanna customize them. I wanna work with people. So, now I'm charging, $200 for all inclusives, and
Love it.
I have for the last probably year been I was charging 100. opted. And I really cut like for the other.
Congratulations. That is a lot. Like, that is amazing. I am so excited for you.
And like I said, I give you all the credit for giving me
Uh,
the confidence to be like in your group. Like you have an amazing group too. Like the people in the groups are awesome. And then I just customize any of the like the other trips just depending like when I have the consultation and figure out how much time it's going to take. And I really honestly almost never get pushback anymore. And the people are so
wow.
grateful and I'm working with the right kind of trips and it really has opened up the opportunity to work specifically with people that I want to work with. And I'm getting so busy, I can't even believe it, honestly.
What?
Like
You're
I'm
such a badass girl. Like, the snowball is snowballing.
yeah, I can't even believe like I kind of just felt like it was happening and like, oh my God, I'm getting all these people now. But I also do credit it to your Facebook group course because I had a Facebook group before.
Okay.
Because I did fitness classes, and so I had kind of one, but I wasn't very active in it, but it was still pretty big, but it
Mhm.
was pretty dormant, so I took your Facebook group class next, and then incorporated all of that into that group and revived it, and it just took off, like,
That is
so
amazing.
that helped a lot too, and, people see you, and I already knew this before, that people watch for a very long time before they'll a lot of times speak up, and sometimes you don't even know they're there, and I knew that that was true, and so,
Well, that
um
was you.
yeah, and again,
I
that
mean, you're like, I watched and I watched before I said anything. I think sometimes it's ironic when somebody tells me this because they're like, oh, I took a while, Marcie. And I'm like, okay, well, then why would you think it would happen overnight
yeah,
for your clients?
exactly.
Yeah. I'm
I
getting
knew
like goosebumps. That's
yeah.
so cool.
I knew I had to be consistent, and, like, you again, that course just gave me that mindset, like, yeah, you have to keep posting even if people aren't commenting, and even if because 'cause they're
Mhm.
there, and I knew that, but it's just, like, you kinda get bored and lazy and, you're like, "Well,
Well, and
nobody's
annoyed. Like, you're like,
responding."
why am I screaming into a void? Nobody's watching, but they are.
So I really think that
Yeah.
the busyness now is the payoff from doing this for a year and a half in the group, and people are starting to see. And I'm very transparent about charging fees and why I do and what it's like to work with me. And so I really feel like I am speaking to the right clients, and I'm shocked daily with people that reach out. I'm like, I didn't even know they followed me, and they're asking for these great trips that I'm so excited to plan,
So
and I
exciting.
yeah, and so I'm getting busier, but I still always I don't know if this ever goes away that you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so busy." I told Warren last week, I think I'm gonna have to just close my calendar down for a couple weeks because I need to get caught up. And then 2 days when you don't hear from somebody, you're like, "Oh, what if nobody ever messages me again?"
Oh my gosh, we have to push that back, girl. Like, I don't know if you've listened to her podcast, but Miranda Leach did a podcast. It's episode 6. It's about that. It's about like that fear that if I stop working, that I won't make any more money, I won't
Yeah,
have any more clients. And I was crying. Listen, I was just like, because I've been there too, and I think a lot of us can relate. Like, well, what if I shut down my calendar and they think I'm never going to come back? It's like, at what point are you really going to trust this process
yeah,
and know that you actually get to control when you come back, when you work, who you work with, and like when you get ownership of that, you will realize it doesn't matter how many hours you work. You own every part and every step of your business.
yeah.
That is so freaking cool.
Yeah. No, I do. I know it's gonna like I know it's there, but it's just in the back of my head. It's very hard to just be independent when you've had a steady income forever and just be like relying on this. But
It is, but it's going to be steady soon. Like, you're going to start bringing in that income on a regular basis. You've already hit your 15,000 in income this year to get to that next level. And I think it's so incredible. Your story is just, I think it's inspiring, honestly. And there isn't anyone out there like you. And I think that's the other thing we have to own as travel advisors. Yeah, there's a lot of travel advisors, but there's no travel advisor like Deena.
yeah,
Like, there really isn't. And that's why I love that you give them a heads up and say, this is how I do it. It's probably not how other travel advisors do it, but this is how I do it. And it's like, well, that sounds great. Some people really thrive in that. And then others are like, well, I really just want that. It's like, then I'm not the right fit, but I
yeah,
hope you have a great vacation. Like, we're
yeah,
not saying don't go on vacation. We're just saying, hey, we might not be the right fit for that vacation. And that abundance mindset of just knowing that there's another person right around the corner who is the right fit. It's
yeah.
just like believing in that, manifesting that, visualizing that. And I think that is so powerful for you. Like, that is
Well, that was
so
kind of easy that part was kind of easy for me because I've always been kind of a strong personality. I say what I think. So
Mhm.
I'm not always for everyone. And I know that. So that's been a constant
We
in my
have
life.
that in common.
That is nothing new to me, and I'm aware of it, but I'm fine with that because, again, like, I surround myself with people that are like me that will call me on my bullshit and tell me, and I love
Absolutely.
that. I'm like that, and that what you see is what you get, and so why would it be different in my business? Like, it's exactly the same.
100%. 100%. Okay, I have one more question. What is your unpopular opinion about the travel industry?
Geez, that's a tough one.
I know. And I didn't quite prepare you for that because it's not on the form. Like, what is something you're just like, everybody believes this, but it's just bullshit. It's not true. Or like something that everybody thinks might be a certain way, like even
Yeah.
clients?
That's easy. That
Okay.
you don't care about where you go, what your room is, and that you just
Uh,
want cheap. Like, I honestly believe nobody wants cheap. I don't even care what your budget is, and I totally portray that now, and I've implemented I started commission with a comma because I was so excited that I
oh,
wanted.
we did?
And so, being the minimum spend, like, it's not even because I want people to, and again, I just started it and I already implemented that yesterday
Oh my
when
gosh.
somebody
I love that for you.
yeah, they're like, "I want this cheap. We just wanna spend this and that." And I'm like, I'm saying it more and more. I'm like, "No, I can't get that for you. You need to be prepared to spend a minimum of this to get a resort that I'm willing to promote, because other than that, I'm not willing to put that out there." So, like, you're just so many words of wisdom that things that I want to say, you tell us how to say it in a way that's professional and true. I don't think anybody wants a cheap budget trip. Like, they think they want the money, but they will never like that trip. Like, a cheap
Correct.
trip is expensive if you hate it, and I say that all the time.
Well, yeah, we don't have a lot of time off.
No.
I mean, my husband gets 21-ish days off a year. So like if we go on a shitty vacation, what was the point? He might as well have worked. And then he's bitching and moaning and babying around. Like I don't think people realize the impact that a shitty vacation is going to
Yeah,
have on them. But
exactly.
also I love that you're just like finding the words that you want to say the best way, because I also think that is part of sales and that can be taught, you guys. Like I always tell people, you can be taught how to sell, but if you don't say it with like that confidence and say it with this, like grit, like I know I'm right. Like I know that you do not want to go on a shitty vacation.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. But that's so true. So many people think I just want the cheapest thing. I'm totally fine. I'm like, yeah, but you're not 20 anymore.
Exactly.
Like you need things to be comfortable. Or literally, whether you spend 3,000 or 30,000, you want to have a really comfortable vaccine if that's what you're going for, or memorable trip, and not because you got Montezuma's revenge.
Yeah. Well, and that's what, like, I want people to come back and be like, "That was amazing. I'm so glad you."
Like, let's go again.
That's what I want, and that, like, I hate that it's sales. Like, it's not, I know it is, but I hate that because I never wanna sell anybody anything, and I never thought I'd ever get into anything where I was selling people. Like, I have before with nutrition stuff, but again, it's like, I'm just passionate, so I just want my passion to spill over onto people. I don't wanna sell them, and so I love that your methods really take that salesy part of it out, because I don't like that. I don't wanna
Uh-huh.
sell anybody anything. I want them to want to work with me. I want them to want what I'm helping them with. I don't wanna convince them, and I really feel like if you're getting a cheap budget trip, you're just buying whatever and fitting yourself into something that doesn't fit, and that's not what I want. Like, I don't wanna just sell you anything. I
I
want you
love
to
that.
come back, like, saying, "That was freaking amazing. I didn't even know I could have a vacation like that."
And then they want to go again. They
Mhm.
tell their friends about you. Like that's where the snowball is occurring for you, because
Yeah.
you really put your energy into creating memories that they want to share with their loved ones again. And then they want to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
And that is so powerful in our industry. That's how we grow. And I'm so pumped for you. But oh my gosh, thank you so much for
Well,
being here
thank you.
today. I mean, this honesty is what we're looking for. And that messy middle can be exhausting, and it won't be the last time there's challenges. But I know there's someone out there listening who's balancing all of these things that you're balancing, the
Mhm.
caregiving, the career that maybe has come and gone, and wondering, can they make this travel advisor thing work? And your story is going to give them the courage and the confidence to keep going, I think.
No,
I'm
I hope
really
so.
excited that you came today.
Oh, I'm so happy you had me. I was so excited when you invited me to come on here. I was like, I love talking and I want people to love what they're doing if they're really in this because I knew that I wanted to do this. I really honestly believe if I didn't find your courses, I probably wouldn't be doing this anymore. Like
Wow.
I would have gave up because it was
Wow.
just like I felt like I don't know how to do this and not just be a booking engine and you really teach that.
Thank you so much. That makes me so emotional, but it also is like continually helps me get out of bed every day that you guys are having this kind of, I guess, just results, right?
Mhm.
We want
Absolutely.
results when we invest. And I told somebody yesterday, she said, I told my husband that anything you write or do, I want, and you live up to the standard. And I was like, that is a high bar. Like,
That's how I
but I
feel.
was like, I will pull it off the market if it sucks.
Every time that you post something, I'm like, "Damn it, Marcy, now I need that." It's
You
like,
know
come
what?
on, like
I'm
yeah.
just listening to you guys. Like, you guys will post stuff, and I'm like, "Ooh, I know how to do that. I'll teach you guys." And it's not like, I mean, it's fun. It's fun for
Yeah,
me, but it's also important for me for not just, it's not about me, but it's like so fun to watch this industry shift into less hustle mindset and also just honoring who we are in how we do this. And I find the women especially, we want it all. And I do believe we can have it all a certain way. And my husband always says, you will find the way to work less and
yeah,
watch your shows.
yeah. But that's what you need, a balance, and that's the thing is I worked hard for 30 years and got nothing out of it, and I'm like, I don't want this to feel like work because I honestly do love what I'm doing.
Mhm.
But I also have
100%.
to balance that because I literally could work from 5 in the morning till the evening every day if I let myself.
Yep.
But another thing I do wanna point out that people should know is that you are really in it. Like, you in your groups and stuff, you reply to people. Like, you don't just throw people in there and, like, peace
Yep.
out. And that's what drew me to you also is, like, you legitimately are there helping. Like, you're there, you obviously care, you're obviously, like, really care about, like, who you're helping, and I love that. Like, because I'm like that too. I'm like, I'll help anybody, like, get where they need to be, and I believe that we should all work together and not, like, um,
Mhm.
gatekeep and not help. Like, why would we not wanna help each other? And I love that you're there, helping everybody. I don't even
Yeah.
know how you have time to do all that, but you are.
Sometimes I'm still a workaholic is the answer to that. But
Yeah.
no, I feel honored that people invest in what I have to offer. And sometimes I don't know if, it's like I know it's for the right reasons and I want to be there too. Yeah, I don't want to let anyone down. I
Yeah.
want people to know, like, yeah, you invested, or even if you don't invest, I don't care, honestly. I want you to get out of this what you need from what I can share. And I think it's just beautiful to see that that is like that my vision of this industry. Because when I started this, I was like, who do I even think I am? Like teaching a bunch of like, and it's snowballing, girl.
Yeah.
Like it's out of control some days. And I'm like, okay, I need a break. I have
Yeah.
to turn it off, but I'm so happy. And yeah, I do spend a lot more time coaching now than selling travel, but that's my passion is
Right.
like, I'm so excited for you guys. I want you guys selling travel. There's enough to go around and do so in a way that you can live your life the way you want to live it and retire with your husband when he's ready and travel and just have the life you want to have. I'm
Well,
so
thank you so
no,
much.
no, thank you. Like this was so much fun as a
I
first
agree.
back to the pod, and I haven't told anyone that I'm releasing it. So I'm excited for next week. Well, I don't know. You know how I am. I'm always like, maybe next week,
Yeah. Well,
but
I'm
we will get
excited
this
too.
out.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you again for being here. And I can't wait to continue to watch your journey.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, girl. That's a wrap on today's episode, friend. Thanks for hanging out with me again on the No BS Travel Advisor podcast. I hope you're leaving this episode feeling fired up, inspired, and ready to take back control of your business. And let's be honest, your fucking life. If today's episode hit home, do me a favor and share it with your fellow travel advisors who need to hear this. And don't forget to leave a review. Your support means the world and helps me reach more badass advisors like you. And hey, if you've got a story to share or some no BS advice of your own, you've taken a course or two of mine, maybe you've been a coaching client, I want to hear from you. Head to my website to apply to be a guest. I'd love to feature you on an upcoming episode. Until then, you fucking got this. keep being bold, keep being unapologetic, and keep building the business you fucking deserve. This is Marcie Muensterman signing off with zero fluff and a whole lot of heart.